Welcome back, my friends. Empires and Puzzles has brought us a brand new day, and with it comes a new portal once again, and it is going to be Three Kingdoms. I do very much enjoy Three Kingdoms. I'm happy it's back, and it has, of course, brought us a new hero to get into, so let's go ahead and take a look at Zheng Tianshu. Yeah, listen, we all know by now I'm terrible at pronouncing names, so that's fine. Let's get into what this character actually does, though, right? The Three Kingdoms characters have been super powerful. I've enjoyed them a lot. So a new addition to it could be very interesting to see if we can add some dynamics to what is already a powerful family. So first things first, we get ourselves a blue monk. That's kind of fun. We do like that natural chance to resist things that are thrown at him. A reminder of what we get for our family bonus. Outlaws of Liangshan family is going to be a bonus for 1, 2, or 3 heroes for 50, 60, or 70% critical chance. That's quite a bit of critical chance, and it leads to these guys critting all the time. It's very cool, and they also are doing max health reductions on crits as well, so that's where these guys get really feisty. All right, so we got quite a few specials here, and these specials are great, so we'll go into a reminder of what they actually do. We get health boost on critical special attack. When this character scores a critical hit with their special skill, they boost the health of their allies by 10%. This effect can activate once per turn. So as we said, they're critting left and right, and now not only when they crit are they doing additional damage, probably max health reduction as well, they're also healing their party for 10% health. Yes, this can only occur once per turn, but it is a significant way to get some extra healing in. So don't underestimate 10% heals that are offered from these characters. Then we get Righteous Rebellion as passive number 2. When this character's special skill hits a target or hits a character that had higher current HP, you gain 20% boosted health. So what this basically does is it encourages you to attack targets that have more health than you, right? So this is interesting. I think that this passive comes into play the most with a character that can hit multiple targets. It's not a lot of fun when you have a sniper and you're forced into hitting a target with more health, because a lot of times you want to get a kill shot in on something that's low. But if you're hitting multiple targets, odds are one of them will have more health than you, and then this will trigger regardless of hitting the other characters as well. So that's kind of cool. Gain 20% boosted health. Can't complain about that. It's a good way to heal up a little bit. Then it also says, when this character is hit by a special skill of a character that had higher current HP, he gains 20 mana. So defensively, if he is hit by someone who is in a stronger position than himself, you get a nice 20% mana boost, and that is really nice, okay? Each of these effects can only activate once per turn. Still, very cool stuff. I think that's one of the more interesting passives in the game, because it's very reactionary, both on offense and defense. So it creates a very interesting dynamic that oftentimes is overlooked on the opposing side, because you forget that that even exists when you're fighting these characters. Okay, now, they also get Resist Bleed. The Resist Bleed is pretty straightforward. Bleed effects will not affect these characters. Okay, in the Aether Power department, we are getting Regen, which is basically just 420 health over 6 turns. This is my least favorite Aether Power in the game. I don't think it's that significant, and if this guy is topped off at max health, it's not going to do a thing, because it isn't the boosted Regen, it's just regular Regen, so you're not getting anything too exciting there. All right, down into our Specials department, we get Gallant Stance. All right, now Gallant Stance is going to be operating at slow speed, so we kind of want this to be a very significant special. Let's see what he's offering us. First things first, this special skill has a chance to deal critical hits. That's the same for all of these guys. Just a reminder, under the additional info, it says that the chance of dealing critical hits is based on the hero's overall critical chance when the damage is dealt. Critical hits caused by this special skill deal 50% more damage, and critical hits can reduce the enemy's max health in PvP battles. This effect is stronger against boosted health. So that's where it's kind of showing you can do that max health reduction. It's even stronger against characters that have boosted health. Cool stuff. All right. Now, he's also going to be dealing 470% damage to all enemies. 470 is a pretty good damage chunk, I'll give him that, but I'm noticing that you do see an attack stat here of 1795. This is not a very strong attack stat, and this is after he's been talented on the attack path. So just understand that, like, this guy, at least stats-wise, seems to be built in a defensive nature. So don't expect this to be like the biggest hit you've ever seen, but 470 is still a pretty solid hit to all. Then he is going to safely dispel status effect buffs from all enemies. Okay, so what does safely dispel mean? It means that he's going to clear all the buffs every enemy has, but it is going to also remove effects, the things that say, like, hey, if you remove this effect, the team takes an extra 1,000 damage or something like that. All of those type of effects will be safely removed and not triggered. This does not allow you to cleanse undispellable stuff. Some people feel like it might be able to do that. That's not what this is saying. It's just saying if there are any secondary effects from cleansing, they will not trigger when he does his cleanse. Okay, so now that we understand that, let's talk about that right there. I do like a Dispel All. It's helpful, but this is not a priority Dispel All. So unfortunately, if counterattack or something like that is up, this guy may end up killing himself before he even gets that Dispel off, because everything's going to happen in the order it is listed here. So just keep that in mind. It would have been so much cooler if this was a priority Dispel all, but it's not. It's coming after the damage, so just keep that in mind. Still nice to Dispel all, though. I'm not downplaying that. And then it says, all allies reduce all receive damage by 30%, with a further 2% reduction per each removed status effect, up to 50% damage reduction in total that lasts 5 turns. Okay, this is where this guy gets a little bit more interesting. I don't love that he's slow, but this damage reduction, especially if you were able to remove a lot of effects, let's say you need to be able to remove 10 effects from the opposing party to max this guy out at negative 50% damage reduction. If he does do that, though, that's a lot of damage reduction, which can then be stacked with other effects like Durlafleur's, ward that reduces the damage coming in. The two of them would work together in separate ways to reduce the damage coming in, and your team would be taking like 0 damage for a while. The thing is, like, although an effect like this is super cool and does create a lot of protection for your team, it is easily taken care of with a Dispel, right? So they can wipe it right off. This is not an uncleansable effect. So, like, although I do think this is powerful and strong, I also think it's very easy to remove the effect here and kind of cut this guy's effectiveness down in half. So, where do I stand on this guy? Look, he's got reasonable damage. He's got a great passives package. The fact that he's hitting all means it's going to trigger really nice with Righteous Rebellion. I guarantee you he's going to get some extra healing from that. It's going to trigger really nice with the health boost on critical. He's going to crit at least on one person. Remember that 470% damage may not sound super strong because of his attack stat here, but remember each crit, it does 50% more damage. That's going to turn that 470% hit into more of like a 650% hit on everyone that he crits. Now we're talking some more significant damage, and he's doing some max health reductions. So, like, just remember that the guy's got some potential for damage. If they don't bring Dispel to handle the damage reduction that he's offering here, I think that's going to make it very hard to kill the remainder of the team. So where does this guy fall short? Well, it's his speed, right? He's operating at slow. So, like, I don't know exactly where you fit him in. Like, do you tank this guy? I mean, he's a reasonable tank because of the hit that he's going to do, the damage reduction he'll put up. But again, it's the order of that Dispel. If he could have been a priority Dispel before his hit, I think this guy would have been a fantastic tank for your team. But because it happens in the reverse order, I think there are plenty of ways to counter this guy that won't make him necessarily as effective as a tank as you'd like him to be. But either way, I'm going to give this guy a solid 8 out of 10. I guess I'm just kind of working it all out in my head. I think he does a lot of things very well for you, but I don't think he's designed in a way to be OP. He's just designed in a way to just be good. Like, he's all around decently good. And especially in a format like Rush, where you're popping this guy off quicker, I think he's going to be incredibly strong there. In other formats, he does still serve a purpose, but the thing is, I think he could very well be dead before he gets a chance to go off. And that's really my only concern. If this guy does go off, it's going to be a fun time for you on your side of things. So there we have it, folks. We'll give him an 8 out of 10. And a reminder to you, if you are enjoying what I'm doing here, you can find that little button at the bottom right. That'll help you find me easier in the future, and we will see you next time.